Death sentence to terrorists. Yes or no? What do you guys think? I'm interested. Hey everybody, it's me again, bringing it to you live from Jerusalem. It's been a week since my last video and a lot has been going on. I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about the politics that has been going on in Israel from the past week or two. As we all know, Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, in his coalition today in the parliament, only has 61 members of Knesset out of 120. 61 being on the border of the majority. In these past 2 weeks, Netanyahu has become afraid of losing his chair. He's becoming more and more afraid of not being prime minister. And because he only has 61 members of Knesset, it's really easy for him to lose that chair. Being Netanyahu, a genius politician, we all know that, he's really afraid of losing the chair. He's really afraid of not being prime minister. I mean, it's only been 10 years, right? What Netanyahu did is that he asked Avigdor Lieberman to join the coalition. Avigdor Lieberman has his own party in the opposition, who's also right-wing, but just hates Netanyahu's guts, right? And Netanyahu, in return for Lieberman's support, granted Lieberman's main slogan, main motto, death to terrorists. Now, for all the right-wingers here in Israel, which is the majority, the slogan, death to all terrorists, sounds pretty appealing, right? But I don't know if that's true, because Palestinians accused of terror offenses are prosecuted in an Israeli military court, while Jews charged with the similar crimes against Palestinians are usually tried in Israeli civilian courts. And there you don't have the option of a death penalty. So when you come out with a slogan saying death to all terrorists, do you mean only Arab terrorists? Do you include Jewish terrorists who've murdered Palestinians or Arab Israelis? Do you mean Christian terrorists, not even Muslim? When you say death to terrorists, who are you including exactly? That's my question. There are some talks saying that the whole point of this legislation and this new law, death to terrorists, will be only appointed towards Palestinians in order to stop terrorism here in Israel. Now, I have a question for all of you guys who think that death to terrorists could actually work. There's a saying in Hebrew, "Ei efshar le'afchid zona im zayin," which means you can't scare a hooker with a cock. A terrorist who goes out to stab people or to blow himself up knows that 90% he's not coming back alive, right? He knows he's going to end up in a body bag. I think it's kind of stupid and pointless to try and frighten terrorists by telling them, hey, listen, if we catch you, you're going to die, most likely, but you're going to die anyway. So, I mean, what the fuck is the point of this whole thing? I mean, do Israelis not think about that? Do Israelis not think about how pointless death to terrorists is? I mean, I think that is the most stupidest slogan you can go with. But, I mean, it does work. It does tug on the heartstrings. It does speak to a lot of people's, it does speak to a lot of people's feelings. A lot of, most of the right-wingers would say, hell yeah, we gotta kill those terrorists. We gotta have a death penalty for all terrorists. Another thing the right wing has been saying is that they would rather put them to death than keep them captive in Israeli prisons while they study degrees and eat and have friends and get visits from their family members. But I ask a very simple question: why not work towards changing the conditions and the circumstances of those prisoners and rather go for the death penalty? You know what I mean? Stop giving them the right to study and studying for degrees. Stop giving them as many visits. Make their life fucking miserable. I don't care about human rights. They don't have any rights. When you go out and shoot up a bunch of innocent people, you gave up that right. So why not try and go towards making their life miserable? Throw them in a fucking cage for all I care. For years and years and tens and hundreds of fucking, I don't care. But why think that a death penalty would actually help, even though those same terrorists know that they're going and not coming back alive? It's just stupid to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing the bigger picture. I don't know. But it seems pretty stupid to me. The other problem I have with death to terrorists is that it will only be with Palestinian terrorists. History has shown that there has only been a handful of Jewish, terrorists who've been accused of murdering Arabs or Palestinians, and there are hundreds of Arabs and Palestinians who've actually been prosecuted and whatever. But the other problem I have is that only Palestinians will be put to death because of this law. And what frightens me is that it will give legitimacy to far right extremists on the Jewish side to commit acts of murder and terror without having the same consequences. Now, two sets of laws for two different people that live kind of like in the same country, that's called apartheid. And that's the last thing we need. More and more Western countries all around the world are trying to abolish death penalties, including the United States. They just say it's not working. It's just not profitable. It doesn't help lower the murder rate. There's no point to threaten terrorists with the death penalty if they know they're going to die anyway, and there's no point of having the death penalty if it won't work and it won't lower terror attacks, and it won't, because they're going to die anyway. That's what they think. That's what they know. That's what they're ready for. That's what they pray for God's sakes. This whole discussion here in Israel about death to terrorists and this whole thing that Netanyahu has been doing, I mean, it's fucking insane. Now, about the politics, it's crazy. You got a really big, strong coalition, which is the Likud party, which is run by Netanyahu, and then you have the other big party called Machaneh Tzioni, the Zionist party, led by Yitzhak Herzog. Now, Herzog knows that this is his last term, probably, because, he's just not doing that great. And what he thinks would help him and his electoral voters is to join Netanyahu, even though they're leftists, even though they have totally different views when it comes to, military, when it comes to to finance, when it comes to everything. They have totally different views, but Herzog knows that this is probably going to be his last term, so what he does is he tries to save his own ass and try and join Netanyahu. Lieberman, Avigdor Lieberman, he has no problem joining because he's going to be in the coalition, and he just got appointed to be the Minister of Defense. Netanyahu fired his former Minister of Defense, who was a general in the IDF, a well-decorated soldier, with Avigdor Lieberman, who was, I don't even know how to say it in English, I'm sorry, but the guy that gives out, the one that gives out uniforms and shoes to soldiers in the IDF. He wasn't a combat soldier. He didn't go, he didn't do anything special. He's not awarded any medals. He hasn't done anything that significant in the IDF. And yet Netanyahu promises him, to save his own ass, promises Avigdor Lieberman a position as the Minister of Defense. Here in Israel, Israel needs a Minister of Justice with a long history in the IDF, who's been through wars, who knows how the IDF works. And yet Netanyahu, with all the crap that we're having, and with this whole wave terror that we've been experiencing for the past 8 months, he just appoints someone that has absolutely no experience whatsoever. I mean, that's fucking mind-boggling. So bottom line, you got Yitzhak Herzog in the opposition who wants to join Netanyahu because he knows this is going to be his last term. You got Avigdor Lieberman also from the opposition joining Netanyahu, who's screaming, death to terrorists, which is fucking pointless. Everybody just lost their shit. This is crazy. And, I mean, I don't know what to say. What do you guys think? Do you think death to terrorists would work or not? Do you think that it would actually stop people from going out and killing and committing acts of terror? Do you think that it's moral? What do you guys think about this whole situation? Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Like if you did, subscribe. I have a new Facebook page. Go check that out. I have my Twitter account. It's all down in the description. And just tell me what you guys think. Peace.